Today we're taking a look at the brand new Typhon GROM. And yes, I know I'm late to the party with this because so many people have already reviewed one. But once again, UK availability has been terrible. And I do have to say a huge thank you to my friend Gary. He managed to somehow get his hands on one of these and he asked me if I'd like to review it. And of course I said yes. A little while ago I tested the Granite GROM and that turned out to be okay. But one of the biggest issues for me is price. And these things fall into the same price range as these. And the Hyper Go stuff is really good for the money. You're also getting a proper brushless setup. And these things can do some pretty serious speed compared to the slightly disappointing Granite GROM's 19 miles per hour. And I'm hoping this is going to be a little bit quicker. Now I don't care too much about the low speeds. These things are running low powered brush systems. But what I do care about is the price. And I really wish these were a little bit cheaper because there are some bigger alternatives out there which will perform better. I actually think they should be priced around the £80 mark, which I think is about $100. And here it is, this is the new ARRMA Typhon GROM. It is so tiny, and just look how small it is compared to the Big Daddy 6S version. So on the outside, of course, we have that really nice red and white colour scheme. Gary's gone for the red one, but you can also get this in blue. You may notice there's no body clips on show, and that is because this does have a clipless system. The rear wing feels nice and flexible. The tyres feel nice and sticky, and I do like the wheel design. It looks like they've also changed the shocks on this. These actually feel really nice. I wasn't a fan of the shocks on the Granite GROM, but it does look like they've made some changes and they now feel really nice. Same story on the rear. We have got some really good rebound. Now these shocks are oil filled and they do include some shock preload spacers in the box, some basic tools, a USB smart charger, some AA batteries for the transmitter, a support card and a couple of black and white manuals. Here we have the included 1400 mAh 2S LiPo, and this actually gave me decent runtime on the Granite GROM. And then finally the transmitter is the SLT2. It's exactly the same as the one that you get with the Granite GROM. These don't feel too bad, although they do feel kind of cheap. We do get a foam grip on the wheel, and of course our steering dual rate and steering trim adjustments. And I don't think it's going to be too fast, but there is a speed switch on the back, and you can select 50%, 75% or 100%. And we're going to leave it on 100% today. So back to the buggy then. Now we've already talked about the oil-filled suspension, which feels really nice. Doesn't look like we've got any adjustability on this, but I wouldn't expect there to be because this is a beginner basher. So we have got plastic shock towers front and rear, plastic suspension arms, we've got metal CVDs at the front, dog bones on the rear. Of course, it also has a plastic chassis. It is good to see that it does feature proper hex hardware. I actually really like the design of this. How cool does this look? So electronics wise, of course, we've got a 380 size brush motor with heatsink, a 25 amp 2-in-1 ESC and receiver, and a tiny little steering servo down there, which should get the job done. Now this does look really cool, and of course these do have a place in the RC market, but they need to work on their prices. Now me and Gary actually spoke about this exact topic as he was handing the box over to me, and his plan is to actually make this brushless, and he's also going to fit all of the upgrade parts. And we actually worked out the entire cost to do this. Now that is a colossal amount of money for a 1/18 scale RC car. I can't help but feel that ARRMA knew these vehicles were going to be popular, and this is just their attempt to milk as much money out of people as possible. We've also seen this recently with the Gorgon. They're charging huge amounts of money for some of the most basic RC parts. And again, it's a similar story to this. The base car doesn't actually cost that much money, but when you start looking at the parts, well, it quickly escalates. Don't worry, I think we've all noticed ARRMA. We can see what you're doing. So I think next up, we need to see how fast this is going to go. Let's stick the GPS on it and let's see if we see more than 19 miles per hour that we see with the Granite GROM. And to do that, we've got to get the battery in. This is incredibly simple. Just look how easy it is to remove that body. Right, so let's do a quick speed test. Let's start the GPS. So I only managed to achieve 19 with the Granite version. That is full throttle. Yeah, it's not the quickest thing out there. And I know lots of people complained about the speed with the Granite. Full throttle again. Yeah, it just doesn't feel as exciting as I would have liked. You know, I don't understand why they didn't make this brushless right out the box. It would have made so much more sense. You know, if they had have gone down the brushless route and made it a little bit more powerful, you could have just turned the power down on the transmitter. Right, so let's take a look and see what we got. So let's hit stop and read. 23 miles per hour. So it's 4 miles per hour quicker than the Granite. So 23 is not too bad, but it's also not great. But what I really want to see is how it's going to perform off-road. So let's go and do that now. So very quick off-road test with the new Typhon GROM. Now I didn't want to take this thing anywhere too challenging. It is only a 1/18 scale. It's not going to handle any super rough terrain. To be honest, it's even struggling a little bit with this. And it is bouncing around a bit. That's full throttle. Oh, it's bouncing around. It is hopping around a little bit. I don't know if I'd spend out on one of these. Maybe if it was for a child getting into the hobby, maybe. But as an adult, I don't think this ticks enough boxes. I don't know, maybe it's just me, you may disagree, but I don't think performance is there. Now when you look at the Hyper Go and how much performance it offers and how much more capable it is, especially on a surface like this, it does look like this may not be the best option, but if you're an ARRMA fan, of course, you're going to love this thing. So there we go then guys, that was the brand new ARRMA Typhon GROM. Yes, it's a little bit quicker on road, but off-road performance was still a little bit questionable. It performed okay, but for the money, I did expect this to be a little bit better. And if I had this amount of money to spend, 100% I would go for the MJX Hyper Go. It's a bit larger, it's heavier, and it's a bit more capable. Now it really does depend on what you like. If you're a massive ARRMA fan, of course you're gonna like this, but then you have to factor in what's gonna be your next move. And like I said before, this is going to soon be brushless, but when you look at how much it costs to actually make it brushless and then fit all the upgrades, well, the price quickly starts to go up. Once again, ARRMA do need to work on their pricing because some of the upgrade parts for this are crazy expensive. So let me know in the comments what you make of the Typhon GROM. Would you buy one and would you upgrade it? Or would you do the sensible thing and buy one of these? Cheers for watching, see you on the next one, take care. Now if you're wondering what that MJX is really like, click the top video now to check out my review of the MJX Hyper Go Truggy, or click the bottom video to check out my top 10 cheap RC cars for 2024.